So here we have a pretty simple unlock screen. I can drag this thing there, and I'm sitting in the middle of my chat that has video icons, which I should get rid of. There you go. Well, proven. And if we can get, I think we're in the right mode here. I'm trying to get rid of reflection here. But anyway, I'm just going to go into Google Maps, which I just have on my desktop here. This particular, yeah, we're going to need to do that shutter thing so we can actually see the screen.
Yeah, can you do something where it's...
I think there's some magical thing that they can do in the back there that lets
me,
I'm all washed out.
Yeah, but you know what? On that screen,
there we go.
I can see it.
There we go. Okay, well, there we go. I'm happy with that.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool. So here we have Google Maps. And this is the newest version of Google Maps. It's actually not quite out yet, but it's due out soon. And I have it in San Francisco. I just did a search and typed San Francisco. So I can zoom in like you'd normally expect here. And as I zoom in, you'll see now I have buildings.
Wow.
Right? So we're taking advantage of the 3D processing power, and I can scroll around here. You see the shadows change as I move past the buildings and things like that. And obviously, because we're talking about a 3D processor, this particular processor is NVIDIA. They're dual-core 3D processors, so these guys really know 3D and have been great to work with. But I can just go and tilt here and get a perspective.
You got an ooh out of me. That's
and
cool.
Stuff like that. And obviously, I can do the rotations and move around and pan around. So
do you see through the windows?
Not yet.
That's the other Google engineers working on it.
That's right. So look, I mean, what we're showing off here is some pretty cool performance. But the special thing about this version of Google Maps, and again, about to launch, we're pretty close.
When will it launch?
So this will be available for cell phones in a matter of days.
Days, okay.
Yeah, so you'll hear more about it. I'll let the team have that. We have a great team led by Charles Mendez, and Michael Salisky is doing some great work there as well. And those guys are going to make a great announcement. But
you just did actually. But go ahead.
One of the great things about this version of Google Maps is, remember, it used to be just a bunch of tiles that would load, and you're not seeing that here.
Yeah, oh yeah, those things.
Right? I'm just going and I'm going
keep
crazy.
Going and
so
don't fall off the end of
this is actually vectors, and that's what enabled me to do these rotations. If this was tiles, I couldn't have 3D buildings that are being rotated and things like that. So this is a vector version of maps that downloads.
How did you make it do that? What was the?
Which one?
Make it like go sideways?
Just 2 fingers down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the ability for these things to basically zoom in, and now we're talking about not a bunch of tile data, we're talking about just vectors. So if I wanted to, I could load like my entire route when I'm navigating somewhere. It's a much smaller amount of data, much more efficient, and obviously much more manipulable.
So if you're in a car and you have it mounted and you're out of range or something, you could have
you could load like a whole state into the amount of memory that you would normally expect one of these things.
So a couple of things. The new Maps app that you've just shown us, will that be Android only at first or forever only Android?
This particular app was written for Android, right? So the engineers are focused on making a really good experience. And by the way, this app runs both on tablets, which are unannounced and unreleased, and as well as phones. Same app.
Will it eventually run on your browser on your PC? Will it run on
I think all those,
other people's operating systems?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are all natural extensions. Again, you have a group of engineers, and they only can do so much. So you got to.
But to start, it'll run on Android phones.
That's right.
Okay, the tablet. What version of Android is that tablet?
This is obviously Honeycomb, which is we just did Gingerbread today, right? So this is an early version of Honeycomb. That's what the engineers are all working on right now, and it'll be out sometime next year.
Is Honeycomb just a version of Android that happens to work well on tablets, or is it a tablet version of Android?
Well, we've done it's both, I would say. We've done a bunch of work on the user interface. This device has no buttons. There's no home button. There's no back button. There's nothing. So I can go and take it, and I can flip it this way. I can flip it this way. The buttons don't get lost, right? Like the home button doesn't change when I go and flip it upside down. So it doesn't even matter, what I'm doing with.
Well, there's only one on that iPad, but yes, I see what you mean.
Still, you still get a little lost.
No. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So you use these, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have a little menu bar down there, and it goes and disappears. Here, let me drive it. Are you gonna?
No.
What happens is you fall into these traps, and then.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because
it blows up?
It's not done yet. I don't want it to blow up.
It's like Mission Impossible.
So some of the work we did, like if I go to apps here and I go and select Gmail, I want to make sure that I have.
Uh-oh. Oh, come on.
I want to make sure I have. This is my personal email, so I want to make sure I don't have something really bad here. Okay, so.
What are you, like still waters run deep or something? What's going on here?
And here we do have
Okay.
a little blow up here. Let me just do that
It
to set it straight. So, so here we have email, and I'll just do this if you don't mind, so everybody can see, or we can look at the monitor there. But this is the same Gmail application, but running in you have your inbox here, and then you have your message content there, right?
Not unlike email on an iPad.
Correct. So some of the enhancements that we made to Honeycomb permit applications to basically, again, same application that runs on here will run on a phone, right? But on a tablet, the application can express itself a different way.
Right.
So we added new APIs to Honeycomb, and then they'll be available in phones. We call them fragments that allow an application to split its functionality to multiple views, multiple columns. And on a phone, those views will be one after the other. You'll get your inbox first, you'll click on something,
And
it'll
you move
slide
it through,
away,
right, like a-
But on a tablet, they'll be side by side. And we let the developer express how they want those
So
laid
you were
out.
just showing that.
But
with
isn't
the
that
email.
essentially what Apple did by putting some more APIs in for iPad development than they had for iPhone development?
I think it's similar. I don't know exactly what APIs they have, but I think that the engineers, the architects in the system software team, the frameworks team, did a really, really good job of thinking about how to do backwards compatibility, how to have an app that runs great on a phone, run on a tablet, and how to have a tablet.
So it just knows it's on a tablet.
And by the way, I mean, the same thing goes for Google TV, right? At Developer I/O, we...
Can I ask you one more question about this?
Yeah, of course.
Before you put it away. Is this the perfect expression of what this is the one you design with them, or is there just going to be 175 versions of this?
Look, I mean, we're not in the business to build one tablet, right? We want everybody building tablets to adopt Android. So this particular one is, you take a new processor and you do bring up on that processor and you take a new screen and you get everything working for the first time. I've been in, I've worked at companies and for companies where they generically try to do software, and this is the way Microsoft used to work with Windows, is they very generically build the next version of Windows and then, expect it to work on all PCs. And in reality, what we do is we pick one of our partners, a semiconductor partner, an operator, and an OEM, combine them all together, and this is the device that all the engineers have on their desk when they come in the morning. So they all know the specific thing they have to focus on for that day. And it makes a much tighter integration of hardware and software. And it's, if I had to kind of put that on a continuum, I would say that Apple has done the perfect job of being an integrator of hardware and software. They're vertically integrated. And then Windows throws shrunk-wrap software out there and lets Acer and Asus and everybody else build PCs out of it. Right. So we're sitting somewhere on that continuum closer to than Apple than
Closer in Apple.
Correct.
Well, I was saying the other day, they have a Supreme Commander there. So are you the Supreme Commander of that?
I would not claim to be a Supreme Commander of anything, not even my dog.
Okay. How much is that? How much is that?
How much is this thing? Well,
Yeah.
It's not out yet. So
How much
this thing's probably, like, literally